Time to make a video. That looks a little ominous. Looks like I just killed somebody back there. Hold on. Editing Zach here. Just wanted to quickly say that remember when I said this in my last video? These next two videos are both going to be filmed at the same time, but I'm going to put them in separately because I'm a little busy right now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to film next week. Well, I lied. I actually do have enough time, so here's the video. Aloha, and welcome on back to another episode. Came across an article that I need to read for multiple reasons. Okay, so the last article reaction I did was about Miles Morales. This article is actually on comicbook.com. And this one is not cosmic, it's comic, so we're already off to a better start. Unfortunately, the title is not necessarily great. GTA 5 may be banned if new bill gets passed. Oh boy, this should be fun. Let's read. Grand Theft Auto 5, also known as GTA 5, may be banned if a new bill passes. This isn't the first time that the series and its developer, Rockstar Games, have attracted the attention of lawmakers and the US government, but it is the first time in quite some time. This week, the lawmaker filed HB 3531, an amendment that wants to not just ban the sale of games featuring psychological harm and carjacking to minors, but to adults as well. According to Evans, these types of games promote criminal activities, which in turn hurt the community. What kind of criminal activities does this game, or any game really, promote to young people? Because there are multiple studies about how video games are actually not causing violence, unlike the popular myth, and that it's actually the more somebody plays video games and the more they are able to burn off their pent-up anger through something that doesn't really matter, such as a video game, it actually reduces the amount of violence that person has. So, I mean, hey, first off, you're just wrong. This whole violent video games causes violence in the real life has been debunked so many times by so many different studies and publications, but yet it doesn't seem to matter because people still perpetuate it even though everyone should know that it's wrong. Now yes, there has been some link, very minor, between some people who play the violent video games like GTA 5 and people that actually commit real-world violence, but that does not mean that the video game is the reason. Most people that end up actually committing crimes that do play these types of games have ulterior motives for what they're doing. Like the whole video games causes violence thing just isn't true, for the most part. I feel like this game has become a big issue in the spectrum. When you compare the two, you see harsh similarities as it relates to these carjackings. Huh? What now? Are they saying that it's realistic in GTA how they carjack things? Have you ever played GTA? I don't think it is. In addition to banning the sale of these games that fall under the aforementioned criteria, the bill also would change the definition of what a violent video game is. This is my main problem with this. Obviously, GTA, you should be able to play it, whatever. The thing is, I don't play a lot of GTA just because my parents didn't necessarily want me to, which is fine. That's what it should be. If your parents say no until you're a certain age, then the answer is no, but you don't have to make it a law. You know what I mean? But I guess, you know, if you want to say, hey, minors can't buy GTA 5, I might agree with that. The thing is, A, it's gonna be kind of hard to legislate that, and B, isn't that already kind of the case? Like, it's kind of like the same thing as R-rated movies. You have to have a parent with you in order to purchase the thing. That's why it's M-rated, right, on the game thing? Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but yeah, this changing the criteria of what a violent video game is, this is what I'm more concerned with this article, because it could literally change the entire video game landscape as we know it. Here's what the new definition of it would be if this law was actually passed. Control of a character within the video game that encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise seriously physically or psychologically harms another human or animal. Now you might be thinking, that doesn't sound too bad, that's not going to completely destroy the video game industry, but really think about it for a second. That is such a vague statement. Not only does that include the GTA games, just based on, you know, that's obviously what they're aiming for here, but that would unintentionally take down, like, most of the video game industry. All shooters would be gone, because that's, I mean, I'm assuming that this person would also want shooters to be gone, but they would be gone. COD, GTA, Battlefield, all those games, gone. Did I say GTA? I meant Halo. But then the unintended consequences of this, if you really wanted to, you could say that Minecraft fits this definition, because you can fight people to their death, and also you have to kill animals in the game in order to survive. So Minecraft would be gone. Oh, and you might as well chuck Pokemon in there, because the whole point of that game is to beat up animals and then capture them in balls and make them fight each other for the rest of their lives. Tell me that's not psychological harm. So there you go, you already have some unintended consequences of this build, but that's not even all that it would do, because Mario can fit this definition, because in that game, you go from one point to another point to try to get to the flagpole, and you know what you do? You crush walking mushrooms and turtle men in your way in order to get there. I could even make the argument that sports games fall into this category, because in football or in hockey or really any major sport, there are major injuries that can occur, which is human versus human violence technically, but maybe not, but maybe more importantly, psychological harm to a human. Hey, you know what CTE is? That's been linked to football a lot, and that is psychological harm to a human. So all the Madden games, really, it doesn't even have to be Madden. Any American football game, throw that out. You see where I'm getting at here? It could be so many unintended games that you cannot play because this bill is so vaguely defined. Even Fortnite would fall into this because you're shooting other people. I don't think this bill is going to pass, mostly because in 2011 the Supreme Court already decided that on a similar bill like this that you cannot limit video games because they are an art and it falls under Amendment 1 of the Constitution. But still, that doesn't mean that it necessarily couldn't, or in like certain states, or hell, maybe even the Supreme Court has changed because its makeup is different now than it was back in 2011. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this, and that's why I kind of wanted to here, is because not only would it make a fun article reaction, but because this could have real consequences to people who enjoy video games. I myself, I'm not necessarily a gamer per se, like I play mostly sports games and superhero games, which by the way would also fall under that category of violent video games, because all you do in those games is beat people up until you get to the bad guy and then beat that guy up. The biggest thing is always, hey, you can't have kids play these games, so that's why we need to make it a law. Well, hey, how about parent? How about make sure that your kids don't get a hold of these games if you don't approve of them? That's the main thing, you know? Because that's what movies do. You can't go to an R-rated movie unless your parents say it's okay. Why wouldn't it be the same for video games? Anyway guys, that's the end of the video. If you do want to make sure this bill doesn't pass, I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't say in the article like what state this was introduced in, but if you want to make sure it doesn't pass, share this video. At the very least, share the article that I found this in, because it is very important. Obviously, I'm a super small YouTube channel. I'm not going to have a lot of sway. In fact, I'm going to have no sway. But if somebody happens to stumble across this video, or Austin or Aram or whoever I know watches this video, maybe share it to people to try to get other people in, and maybe somehow some bigger YouTuber or some bigger person of influence will pick this up, or at least pick the story up. That's what I'm hoping. That's my goal with this video. It would also help if you leave a like, because that would also increase the traction of this video on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below what you thought about this and what your biggest fear from this if it were to pass. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye! How do you like the light, by the way? This is new. It's burning my eyes, but maybe it'll look better on camera. I don't know.